Okay, welcome back. Today we'll be studying the grade 11, the ninth lesson. It's about percentages. Okay, there is something new to study in this lesson. Now, all this time in up to grade 10, until grade 10, you have studied finding percentages, the normal method. Okay, that is, say for an example, you take a loan of say you take a loan of 20,000 from the bank. Okay, and their annual rate is, say their annual rate, normally they mention in annual rate, that is, we'll say 24%. Say you are going to pay this loan in 6 months. Okay, now say you have to find what is the total interest you have to pay after 6 months. Now with this 20,000 they will be charging an interest rate also, no? Okay, now how do you find? Now since we are dealing with months, we have to find what is the interest rate per 1 month. Am I correct? Yeah. So what should you do? Rate for 1 month. Let us find out rate for 1 month. So what should you do? 24% you have to divide by the number of months per year. The annual means per year, so you have to divide by 12. That will give you 2%. For 1 month, the annual rate is just 2%. Okay. Now how do you find out? Okay, this is the way. Now you have to say 2%. Percent means 100. No? This 2% is for 1 month means, okay, 2 is for 100 means what is the amount for 20,000? Okay, but you should know 2% means we are dealing with just 1 month. Okay, and how many months are we taking? Altogether we are dealing with 6 months. Therefore this, if you multiply this, you will get the rate, the loan, the interest amount for 1 month. So you have to multiply this also by 6. Understand? So what is the answer? So you will be getting, you can cut these 2 zeros. You have 4 and then 24 and 2 0. So this is the total interest you should pay. So total amount is 20,000 plus 2,400. Are you clear? Okay. But in this, it's about calculating interest based on the reducing balance. That is, I'll go with an example. Reducing balance. Now this interest, now here what did we do? During the first month we found the rate for the first month. That was, we say if you multiply you get an amount here. No? That we multiplied by 6, no? Number of months. But here in this on reducing balance you cannot multiply. The interest will be different from each month. That is, during the first, when you take a loan during the first month, you have a bigger interest to pay because you have a big amount to pay. And then finally when the total amount reduces, after you pay an amount to the bank, daily you are paying each month, and then finally the balance will reduce. And then on the final months you will have a small amount to pay. Okay, I'll take an example. Say you are taking a loan of, we'll say you are taking a loan of 30,000 to be paid in 6 months. Okay, you are going to pay it in 6 months. This is, we'll say this is calculated on based on reducing balance. Okay, on reducing balance. Also their annual rate is 24%. Now you have to find how much is a monthly installment. That is, for a month with the interest, how much should you pay to the bank? Okay, this is the way of doing. Now here also, since we are dealing with months, you have to convert this annual rate to monthly rate. Are you clear? Okay, therefore monthly rate, let us first find out. Monthly rate will give you you have to divide 24 month annually, no? So to find the amount for per month, you have to divide by how much? For a year you have 12 months, therefore divide by 12 will give you 2% monthly. Is that okay? Okay. Now you have to pay a loan of 30,000. Okay. Now you are going to pay it in 6 months. Now you can find the amount without the interest. That means without the interest, how much should you pay per month? That means you have to divide the total amount by the number of months. Is that clear? Okay. I'll find out that next. Amount to be paid monthly without interest. Is that clear? Without interest. Okay, now how do you find out? That means it's easy, right? You have to take the total amount that is equal to 30,000. You have to divide by the number of months. That will give you 5,000. For a month you have to pay 5,000 without the interest. That means during the first month you have to pay 5. Are you clear with that? Okay. Now look here. During the first month you will have to pay how much? 30,000, right? During the second month 25,000. Third month 20,000. Then it will decrease. Understand? This interest is also based on the amount you have to pay. Okay. Let us come to solve. Let us solve this. First, we'll find out interest for 1 month. Okay, that is, I'll write a statement. Interest for 1 month. For the first month, sorry. Yeah. Okay. I'll show you how to solve this using the longest method, and then I will show you the shortcut method. How do you solve? Okay. Now like this. Now observe. For the first month, okay, you know the monthly rate. How much is that? 2 is for 100 means, okay, 2 is for 100 means how much for, what should you write? Okay, we'll be solving it in the longest method now. Okay, you have to find 2 is for 100 means, now how much should you pay during the first month? What is the balance you should pay to the bank? Altogether you have an amount of 30,000 to be paid. Am I correct? Yes. Therefore, you have to find out what is the amount for 30,000. Is that clear? Yes. So, it will give you how much? Mention the units. Okay. During the first month, you have to pay a loan of 600 rupees. Understand? Now, you have to find each of the interest, the loan amount for each of the months, and then finally, we'll do some calculations and then we'll give the answer in a proper method. Okay, now the interest will differ. During the first month you have 600 and then thereby the amount decreases. Are you clear with this part? Now during the second month, interest for second month, look how it is decreasing. Now during the second month you have the same interest rate. If 100 means, mention the units. Okay, now during the second month, how much should you pay? Now already during the first month you had a total amount of 30,000. Now during the second month, already out of that 5,000 is gone. Therefore you have only an amount of 25,000 to be paid. Are you clear with this? Now see, the amount will decrease. Therefore you have it's 500. Understand? Now if you keep on solving for each of these, you will be getting first you will be getting 600 and then 500 plus 400 and then 300, 200 and 100. Okay, plus 100. This is the total interest to be paid. This is the way they calculate. And what is the total answer? If you add all this, you will get an amount of 2,100. This is the total interest you have to pay. Now what the bank will do is, they will divide this total interest by the number of months, by 6, and then they will calculate it like an equal amount for each month. the interest will be like they will divide it equally for each of the months. Are you clear with that part? Okay. Now let us solve further. This is the total interest. Total amount he has to pay is 30,000. Therefore, total with interest. Total with interest. How much is it? Total with interest will give you 30,000 plus 2,100, and then this total you have to divide, and then okay, this is the total. Now we'll say monthly installment. Monthly installment. That means for a month with the interest, how much should you pay? Did you understand? The total interest is calculated and then they divide it equally for each of the months. Therefore, answer you will get, you have to divide the total, that is 32,100, you have to divide by the number of months. That will give you 5,350. Clear? Then for each month you are paying an amount of 350 monthly. Are you clear with this part? Okay. Now I told you there is a shortcut to find. Okay. Let us move on to the shortcut. That is this way. First, you have to pay altogether. You have to pay an amount of 30,000. In how many months? 6 months. Also, you know the annual rate. Annually. Okay. Now, like earlier, we will find out how much should you pay per month without the interest. Per month without the interest. These are the steps you have to follow. Okay. Per month without the interest. Okay. How did we find? We have to divide 24% by how many months? 12 months. Therefore, you will be getting 2%. Now, what should you do? Okay. Next, what you have to do is you have to find what is the interest for a month. Okay. That is like this. Interest per month. Observe. Interest per month. For 1 month, how much is the interest? That is, monthly you have 2%. That means 2 is for 100. No? 2% means 2 is for 100. Then how much for? You have to find what is our monthly installment. How much should you pay monthly? It is 5,000, right? Monthly. Because 30,000 you have to divide by 6. That will give you 5,000. Then for a month you have 5,000. Observe. Are you clear with this part? You have to first find how much is the interest per 1 month. Are you clear? For 1 month you have to pay an amount of 5,000. So you find. So you can cancel this off. So okay. For 1 month you have to pay an amount of 100 as loan. Now you have to find the total interest now. There you have to find the total monthly units. Let us say monthly units. How much? Monthly units. There is an equation to find. That is n divided by 2 into n plus 1. Now what are these n? N is the monthly installments. Now you are paying it in how many monthly installments? You are going to pay it in 6 monthly installments. Therefore you substitute n by 6. For 6 divided by 2 into 6 plus 1 is 7. That will give you 21. Now for the total interest, total monthly interest. Now what you have to do is, now you know the interest per 1 month. You have to multiply it by the total number of month units. That is going to give you 2,100. Our answer is correct, right? Earlier also you got the same amount. So you have altogether 2,100. Now total with interest. How much should you pay? Total with interest. You have 30,000 to be paid. 30,000 to paid plus now you have an interest, total interest of 2100. Okay, now let us say monthly installment. What should you do here? You have to add both. That is 32,100 divided by you have to divide by 6. That is going to give you 5,350. Okay. I hope you are clear with this. Okay, these are the methods you have to follow. First you have to find out what is the total amount you have to pay, and then you have to find out for a month how much are you going to pay. Okay, don't forget to convert this to monthly installments. Okay, they normally give it in annual installments. Now what you have to do, you must find out how much for a month you should pay. That will give you 5,000, and then interest for 1 month. That is easy, you get 100. After that, to find the total interest, you have to find the total monthly units. That you should remember the equation, n divided by 2 into n plus 1. So you have 21. When you multiply total number of monthly units by the interest for 1 month, that is going to give you the total interest. Then it is easy for you to find the monthly installments. Is that clear? Okay, we'll move on to a question. We'll take one of the questions from the book. Here it says a motorcycle priced at 150,000. The price of the motorcycle is 150,000. 150 for outright purchase can be bought by making a down payment of 30,000. Down payment. That means at the spot he is paying an amount of 30,000 and he can take the bike home. The balance, paying the rest in 2 years in equal month installments. Now he is going to pay it in 2 years, equal monthly installments. And then they are saying you the interest rate is 24% annually, right? Yes, annual rate. That is annual rate. Now they are asking you, also they have said the interest, okay, where the interest is calculated on the reducing loan balance. Now here you have to consider about monthly units also. And also finally they have asked you how much is a monthly installment. Okay, first how do you find? Now when the price of the bike is 150,000, he is making a down payment of 30,000. Therefore you have to find the balance, how much you have to pay finally. So balance to be paid, that will give you 150,000. You have to subtract 30,000. That is going to give you 120,000. Is that clear? Okay, now you have to find, okay, now since we are going to deal with months, you have to find out of this 120,000 for 2 years. Now you are dealing with 2 years. What is the amount you should pay per month without the interest? Okay, amount without the interest. That looks easy, right? Without the interest, how much? So you have a total balance of 120,000, and then you have altogether how many months? 2 years means you have 24 months. That is going to give you, I think it's 5,000, right? Yeah, 5,000. So for a month without the interest, you are going to pay 5,000. Is that clear? Okay. Now next what you have to do is, now since annual rate is 24%, we'll find out how much is it monthly. So monthly, you can just write here, since you know it, right? Monthly you have to divide 24% by 2. That is, sorry, not 2, 12. That is going to give you 2%. Therefore now let us find what is the interest for 1 month. Interest per month. Interest, okay, for 1 month. How much is this? How do we calculate? For a month, you know 2 is for 100 means how much for 5,000? That is going to give you 100 rupees is the loan for 1 month. Now in order to find the total loan, total interest to be paid, sorry, not loan, interest to be paid, you have to find the total number of monthly units. Therefore month units, how do we find? N over 2 multiplied by n plus 1. Here n will give you 2 years, means it is going to give you 24, right? 24 divided by 2 into 25. So here 12. 12 into 25 will give you 156. Now total interest. In order to find the total interest, you should multiply the interest for 1 year by total number of month units. That is 156. So it's going to give you RS is 15,600. Is that clear? That is the total interest. Now total amount with interest. Total amount with the interest, how much is it? Total amount with interest. So you have a balance of 120,000 to be paid, right? So with this 120,000, you have to add the balance you got. It was 15600. Okay, therefore here you have how much is it? It should give you, what is the amount? It should give you total 135,600. So this you have to divide by the number of months. You have to divide by 24. That will give you your answer. Is that clear? Okay. Okay. And the other part of this question is about compound interest. Now all this time until grade 10 you had solved the questions based on interest, but it's about simple interest. There is a difference between simple interest and compound interest. Simple interest means if they speak about 2 years of time, say you take a loan from the bank and you are paying it in 2 years. How do you find the total interest to be paid? You find the amount for 1 year and then you have to multiply it by 2, right? Okay. But in compound interest you cannot multiply. That is wrong. Here this is the way of calculating. Okay, I'll show you for an example. Say you are taking a loan amount of 20,000 from the bank. Their interest rate is interest rate annually is 20%. Okay, you are going to pay it in 2 years. You are going to pay it in 2 years. Now you have to find out what is the total interest you have to pay after 2 years. Okay. Okay. I will say we are depositing this 20,000 on the bank. Okay. You deposit this 20,000 in the bank and then rate is 20%. After 2 years, you are going to check how much do you have in the bank. Now, if it is simple interest, how will you do? You will find for 1 year and then multiply by 2. But here it is different. You have to find for each of the years separately. Now look here, during the first year. Now during end of the first year, you have to find out how much we will have in the bank. Okay, that is, you know, the interest rate. 20 is for 100 means how much for 20,000. Okay, so when you cancel off, you will get 4, then 3 zeros. This is the interest rate. Okay, now in our bank, after the first year, what is the total you are going to have? You have deposited 20,000 and also you have an interest of 4,000, right? Okay, so total in bank, now this is important, total in bank at the end of first year. at the end of first year, what is the total in bank. Now you have altogether 20,000, and also with this you have to include 4,000. That is equal to 24,000. Okay, now during the second year, the total interest is calculated based on the deposited amount and also based on the interest what you get during the first year. Is that clear? That is the only difference. Now, if we speak about simple interest, they don't take this interest for calculating the interest for the second year. But for compound interest, compound means like combination. So when they are calculating the total interest for the second year, they will include the total amount in the bank during the end of the first year. Now interest for second year, now you say you are going to find the interest for second year. Okay, how do you find? You know the rate. 20 is for 100 means, now what is the total amount in the bank you have now? You have 24,000. So you have to mention with the interest. We'll cancel out these zeros. You have this is the interest. Understand? So during the first year you got an interest of 4,000, and then you have an interest of 4,800. Now say you are going to find the interest for the third year, then how do you solve? Now you have to find what is the total amount in the bank at the end of the second year. Then you have 20,000 plus 4,000 plus 4,800. Okay, let me solve that third year. Okay, I'll say end of third year. Now how much do you have? Okay, at the start you deposited 20,000 plus during the first year you had an amount interest of 4,000, and during the second year you had an interest of 4,800, right? Yes. So now this is the total amount in the bank at the end of the third year. So you have 28,800. Now for the third year, to find the interest that will be added to the bank, you have to include the total amount in the bank. Is that clear? Okay. Interest for third year. Can you see that the interest keeps on increasing because the amount is also increasing year by year. So interest for the third year. For the third year, that is going to give you, you know the interest rate, that is 20 is for 100 means how much for the total amount? That is 28,000. So you cut the zeros and then you multiply 288 17 1 4 5 500 576 and a 0. This is the interest during the third year. Is that clear? Okay. And then for more questions, to solve more questions, you can just drop me a comment. So I'll be solving the questions whatever you want. Thank you.